The Lakers didn't get Kyrie Irving, but they did trade for a few players that should help them get out of this Western Conference logjam where the 4th seed is only 5 games ahead of the 13th seed. I'm going to be talking about each player individually. Malik Beasley is the first player I want to talk about from the trade with the Utah Jazz. Looking through Basketball Reference, LeBron has never played with someone that shot almost 9 threes a game in a season until now with Malik Beasley. The next highest is J.R. Smith, who was putting up 7 threes per game in 2015. I like that LeBron is getting to play with someone that is going to shoot the ball with no conscience. That's part of why I was excited about a possible Buddy Hield trade, because that opens up LeBron's best abilities as an offensive player. LeBron hasn't played with one of these new generation players that are just chucking up a healthy amount of threes. The Lakers after the 2021 season were extremely awkward when spacing the floor. They had big men who couldn't shoot and guards that could shoot, but they weren't high volume 3-point shooters. The Lakers just needed anybody that can come off a screen or just create pressure at the 3-point line. Teams know that some of these Lakers players are not going to shoot. You can't do that with Beasley. As of this video, he's 5th in the NBA in catch and shoot made threes. He's only behind Keegan Murray, Klay Thompson, Lauri Markkanen, and Buddy Hield. Beasley has never been asked to be a playmaker in the pick and roll or in isolation. I wouldn't expect any of that on the Lakers much. They have D'Angelo Russell, LeBron, and Dennis Schroeder to handle the ball. 2 concerns. Malik's not exactly a stopper, and he can run hot and cold from the 3-point line like most shooters. It was only 6 games, but in those 6 playoff games against the Grizzlies, he shot 32% from 3, which was below his average during the season. I hear Lakers fans talking all the time about shooters forgetting to shoot when they come to LA, so we'll see. He's a good athlete and can shoot threes. I like that the Lakers got him. I give this a B. The Lakers also got Jared Vanderbilt in this deal. One thing I really like about Vanderbilt is how much he competes on the glass. His rebounding numbers are higher than you'd think for someone who's not a center and only plays about 24 minutes a game. Plus, he's only 6'9", 214 pounds. At times, he's at a size disadvantage when going for boards. The times I've watched Vanderbilt closely, you really see him trying on defense. Not everybody in the regular season tries on defense, and you'll see him moving at a slightly different speed at times from everybody else. This is what separates him from other role guys. He's rangy, athletic, and can defend out on the perimeter. That's been a common thing for the Lakers since that 2021 season. They've had a lot of bad defenders. Vanderbilt will go out on the perimeter and defend. He'll go up and contest someone bigger than him. He'll fly out on the perimeter to cut off that driving angle on a pick and roll. He is very versatile. If you remember that game where the Lakers lost to the Pelicans recently, Brandon Ingram had an easy time getting to his spots and shooting over the top of 6'1" Patrick Beverley. Vanderbilt would be on Ingram in those situations. On offense, obviously don't expect much individual shot creation. He only averages about 8 points a game, and most of those are assisted. To be fair, he's not as bad as he used to be from the 3-point line, but he's still mostly a non-factor, and teams will be glad to let him shoot and take away the LeBron and AD drives. The Lakers are going to need to figure out the floor spacing between Vanderbilt, Davis, and LeBron. All 3 of them aren't shooting well from 3 this year, so the trick is going to be to find enough shooting and defense at the guard spots with those 3 on the court. This is probably my favorite player they got. I give this an A-. D'Angelo Russell also was in the trade that got them back Vanderbilt and Beasley. I'm going to talk about what I like in a second, but my one worry with Russell is this a contract year thing and he won't replicate this production long term? He's been playing better since Karl Towns got injured. Being the 3rd option on the perimeter with Towns and Edwards was something he had trouble with earlier in the year. Russell replaces Westbrook as the most likely player to be blamed if things go sideways. But still, he replaces Westbrook as the most likely player to be blamed if things go sideways. I can already imagine a game where he shoots like 4 of 12 from the field and on the other end has multiple defensive breakdowns. The biggest winner of this D'Angelo Russell trade is Anthony Davis. Davis's lob threat ability can be maximized more than it is right now. The LeBron and AD pick and roll isn't as unstoppable as you might think because the 2 defenders can switch. Russ has found AD for a bunch of lobs this year, but on the pick and roll you can go under and force them to shoot. D'Lo can shoot from 3, so now if Russell beats his man and if the defender goes over the AD screen, Russell can find him on the alley-oop or the floater. He is creative with the ball. It's been so easy to guard the Lakers the last 2 seasons because there's no threat on the perimeter. LeBron has been the team's best 3-point shooter at one point, which is a bad thing. D'Lo is shooting almost 40% from 3 this season, and he can do it off the dribble and off the catch. The Lakers now have Mo Bamba from the Orlando Magic after trading him for Patrick Beverley. Anthony Davis is probably starting at center, but Bamba could start next to AD as well. In theory, Bamba is a guy that doesn't need the ball, will shoot threes and defend the rim. He's up to almost 40% from the 3-point line on the season on about 3 attempts per game. But still at the same time, He hasn't been able to get on the floor for the Magic lately. He hasn't been as impactful on defense as Mo Wagner. He's been taking his minutes. Bamba's not the greatest rebounder and he fouls more than you want, but still, I'm not mad at it. I like this for the Lakers. Those first 7 minutes of the first and third quarter, if Bamba is starting, the Lakers are going to need someone who can shoot at the center spot. This team needs all the spacing it can get, and Bamba can do that. The only reason why I'm not higher on this than maybe other people is I don't think this signing will affect the playoffs much, and would have preferred the Lakers got another wing player for Beverly and picked up a big off the buyout market. The Lakers also got Davon Reed and 3 second-round picks from Denver in exchange for Thomas Bryant. This is going to open up minutes for other players in the Lakers front court because Bryant is a free agent this summer and the Lakers weren't going to re-sign him. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm familiar with Davon Reed's game in and out like other players, but he is a 3-and-D wing. He didn't play much in Denver, but when he did, it was a limited role. I wouldn't expect him to play much in LA, but I do remember that game against the Lakers last year where he bothered LeBron a bunch of times on defense. He was a guy on a 2-way contract and worked his way to getting a 2-year deal. I give this a B-, a solid move on the margins. And for the last part, I do want to bring up the Rui Hachimura trade. Since being traded, he's averaging 12 points, bringing down 6 rebounds on 49% shooting with the Lakers. Before the trade, the Lakers were actually the shortest team in the league. At times, they were running Patrick Beverly as the team's wing defender. Trading for Rui brings more balanced lineups where the Lakers don't have a size disadvantage. The Lakers needed athletes, and Rui can run the floor, go up for two-handed dunks on cuts to the basket, and use his size to shoot a mid-range or drive to the rim if he can get the angle. His perimeter defense is meh, it could be better. He has the physical frame and tools, but I don't trust him when he's out on an island. He has the common problem of every suspect defender, where he doesn't have the quickest feet when shuffling. He sometimes takes too big of a step sideways, and every NBA player is going to take advantage of that step. I give the Rui trade a B-. He still needs to improve overall, but he gives the team balance. I just don't think there's enough season left for the Lakers to really make a run here. They needed to make a trade in the offseason. I like the trades, but the biggest X factor is still Anthony Davis. How good is he, and is he still working through an injury? There are too many games where you just don't even feel him on the court. He's the ceiling raiser on the team. He can take this group from the 7th seed to the 4th seed if he can almost replicate that stretch earlier in the year where he had monster games. That stretch earlier in the season, he needs to be something near that. If he's playing through an injury, then don't expect anything higher than a play-in spot for the Lakers. But what I like most about these moves is that it gives the Lakers options now. They have less bad players. Malik Beasley will have nights where he makes 5 of 7 threes, but he'll have his games where he can't hit anything. There's a reason he's been traded 3 times already, but again, they have options. These moves probably put the Lakers over the Thunder, Blazers, and Jazz in the standings. They're going to have to battle it out with the Wolves, Warriors, Mavericks, and Warriors for those spots. One quick thing on the Jazz, I saw people saying the Jazz got fleeced. They kinda did, but funny enough, for once in his life, Ainge was on the wrong end of a negotiation position. Everybody knew that these players were available. The Jazz aren't going to be frustrated about giving up good players because they now can drop out of the logjam in the West. The Jazz already have 15 first-round picks, so maybe they just said, hey, we already have a lot of those. I still have no expectations for the Lakers overall. I don't expect this team to make a conference finals run, but hey, crazier things have happened. I just don't know how this Lakers team is going to compete against Denver or this Suns team. They have a decent option to guard Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant has scored 30 to 35 on plenty of good defenders before. They don't have a Devin Booker defender either, and Booker cooked the Lakers in the playoffs when they had good perimeter defenders on the team. They had guys like Alex Caruso and KCP guarding Booker, and he still torched them. And then the Lakers will still be in a tough series with somebody like Memphis or New Orleans. It's tough, man. I want to believe because I'd like to see LeBron have another crack at the finals, but it is what it is. I don't see it happening. Appreciate it if you made it to the end. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next one.